Hello everyone, welcome to the Living in Halls talk. I'm Stephanie and I work in the Hall Life team as a Student Events and Transition Officer. I hope you've been finding today's sessions very helpful so far. So for today, the aim of this session is to provide you with a general overview of the services we provide so that you can get the most out of your time in halls. I will be covering a little bit more about the Living in Halls guide that was mentioned at the Welcome to our Holloway session, the move-in process, the services your Hall Life team provides to ensure a happy hall, regulations in halls, and finally the events which are catered for you as students in halls. Once you've added the Living in Halls guide in the app, you will find a lot of information such as support in halls, how to be a good flatmate, practicalities, and much more. So if you see the laser here, this is the menu. This is where you also book an appointment to speak to a Hall Life duty officer and book onto our social events. In order to make your arrival as smooth as possible, we're designing the check-in process with your safety in mind. So we will be operating an extended arrivals period from Wednesday 15th September to Sunday 19th September. You will be able to see availability and book your arrival slot as part of the inductions and arrivals modules on the online accommodation system. These modules are now live, so you should receive an email inviting you to complete the modules when they open. Once you've completed the induction and arrivals modules, you'll be able to print your arrivals pass and car parking pass. You'll also be able to see your room number in the arrival pass. To ensure the safety of our students and staff, all students moving in and their guests must present a negative on arrival onto campus prior to checking into the room. A COVID test must be undertaken within a 24-hour period. When you arrive on campus, the residents and the Hall Life teams will be on hand to welcome you and direct you to your hall. Your accommodation check-in will be completed at a drive-through point as you arrive at your designated check-in points. You can check in this on your arrival pass, which shows your designated colour zone. You will remain in your vehicle during the check-in process. Finally, the move-in team will be on hand to assist you with any questions or advice whilst maintaining social distancing. To help you move in, we will provide trolleys, which will be sanitised after each use. There will also be sanitised stations available. Please bear in mind to maintain social distancing whilst we create new house of bubbles in line with the current government advice. Only yourself and 2 other people will be allowed to enter the hall and flat when you move in, and we encourage you and your guests to wear face coverings whilst in university buildings, including our halls of residence. So as a general guide, each room will have a bed and with a storage, a wardrobe, drawers, desk, lamp, waste paper bin, chair, mattress protector, duvet and pillow. So we have provided you some pictures of the current rooms in Gower on George Eliot. You'll need to bring the following items as a minimum. So for example, bed sheets, duvet cover, pillowcases and towels. You can find more detailed information in the Living in Halls guide alongside an inventory list for you to fill in when you move in halls. If you are staying in a non-catered hall, you will find the following items already provided to you, so there's no need to bring these. So general appliances such as fridges, kettle, toaster, microwave and hob with a built-in oven, and the cleaning supplies such as the hoover, ironing board with an iron, and a brush and dustpan. Whilst in the catered halls, you'll be provided, again, pretty much the same, apart from the hob and the built-in oven. Living in halls can be a fun experience and is always ideal to get along with others. It's best to gather all your flatmates or corridor mates as soon as possible to get to know each other and set up a group chat. Cleaning your flat and living spaces are important as part of communal living, so setting up a cleaning rota is ideal so that everyone does their share of tidying and cleaning. Setting up some ground rules may also go a long way to keep the peace. In terms of what not to bring with you in halls, sorry, unfortunately, your dog will have to stay in home. Pets are not allowed in halls. Do not bring any kitchen appliances in halls as you will already be provided the general kitchen appliances. For safety and to prevent fires, plug-in fairy lights, diffusers, candles and incense sticks are not permitted in halls. Finally, any bass stereo equipment is not allowed in halls. So, who are we? The Whole Life team is made up of Whole Life duty officers and assistants. Together, we aim to help support you move from home to halls, run social events, bring you timely campaigns tailored to promote a happy hall and campus environment, and also to ensure that everyone follows the rules and regulations of living in halls. The team are here to support you with life in halls, including settling in, living independently and resolving disputes. With many of you coming from different backgrounds and cultures, at times there can be communal living issues. Although we encourage you to resolve your issues amongst yourselves first, if you need any guidance or further help, you can speak to a duty officer by booking an appointment in the Living in Halls guide. We are open from Monday to Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. during term time. As a duty officer, it can help you arrange a flat meeting, give you advice on your communal living issues, follow up on noise complaints and disturbances, and also signpost you to other relevant support services. During your time in halls as a student in Royal Holloway, you'll be able to access an array of support services and informations. There are 3 hall receptions, each serving different halls of residents. They are all here to help and advise you about services provided whilst you're in halls, including maintenance with your room or kitchen or locking yourself out during the day. You can send them an email or directly visit your hall reception. Our campus and security watch team operates 24 hours a day, every day, patrolling campus on foot and in vehicles. The team are available at all times via phone and respond to a variety of issues such as having safety concerns, you have been involved in suspicious behaviours or an accident. One important thing to bear in mind is that if you have called for police or an ambulance, please notify security so that they can direct you the services to you as quickly as possible. And for any more information on the other services such as the GP and medical services and counselling, please download the Student Live Guide. So living in halls is an exciting experience that comes whilst with attending university, and it's a new experience that can sometimes be overwhelming and difficult to navigate. We want you to have a good time living in halls, but there are a few rules and regulations that you need to be aware of. Please ensure you familiarise yourselves with the rules and regulations, which can be found again in the Living in Halls guide. These are some of the important rules that we do require you to remember. For example, under the fire safety rules, you are not permitted to burn candles, incense, nor are you permitted to use electric fairy lights or plug-in diffusers. If you have guests in your halls, you are responsible for your guests and they must have left by 11 p.m. Finally, please show courtesy and consideration to other residents at all times, and remember that noise travels easily. Keep any noise to a minimum, and we also ask that you don't use amplified speakers to a level that will disturb others. You must not use space equipment or large speakers at any time. As a student living in halls, you will enjoy a range of events catered to you, where the majority of our events are free. We host a large number of events during Welcome Week. So for example, we will have outdoor cinema. We've held roller disco previous years, and we'll be holding a laser tag sessions. We also host smaller events. So for example, we will be holding a pumpkin carving night, board games, variety of arts and crafts and events, and DIYs to design your door handles, etc. We also offer a few virtual events running weekly, should you need to self-isolate. Lastly, join us on our weekly pub quiz where you and your team can get a chance to win big prizes, such as Amazon voucher or a restaurant voucher. So booking an event. You can book the event via the Living in Halls guide. Simply search for the events you'd like to attend in the events calendar and click on the plus icon to add in your schedule. If you aren't fully vaccinated, we require you to take a lateral flow test within the 24-hour period before attending the event. Upon arrival, please be ready to show your proof of vaccination or negative test and show your unique QR code, which can be found at the bottom of the menu of the Living in Halls guide. As well, please be mindful that many of you would probably want to attend the events. So if you no longer are available to attend the event, please remember to unregister yourself. Thank you very much for listening in. We have been collecting your questions and we will begin answering them one by one. I see that some of my colleagues have already started answering some of your questions. However, if you do have any more questions, you can raise your hands up. If you'd like to speak, just unmute yourself. As there are a lot of questions, I'll ask my colleague Antonio to answer you guys shortly all of the questions.
Hi guys, so I started answering a couple of them. I'm a student ambassador and I'm just about to start my second year. But because there's so many, it's easier if I just unmute like this and start reading through. So, so regarding Kingswood, there is a bus, as I said in the chat, there's a bus that comes from on campus straight to Kingswood and from Kingswood back to on campus as well. And I think they run every 30 minutes to an hour or around those sorts of times. So you can just get up the timetable online and just make sure you catch one of them. But if you do fancy a walk, you can do the walk as well, especially if it's a nice day. So the next question is, if you are living in catered halls and test positive for COVID, how do you get to your meals? How do you access the bathrooms if you test positive and you are living in accommodation with shared bathrooms? So regarding COVID issues, you obviously need to take a test, log it, and then contact the Hall Life team or the reception desk, whoever you can contact first. In terms of food, you will get some food delivered up to your room. So it may come in like kind of a little hamper sort of thing. So meals will be like that. And I believe in terms of bathrooms, normally there is more than one shared bathroom along the whole corridor. So I think they. Oh, okay. Chris has just said he will cover any COVID questions. Cool. So I'll leave that one for Chris then. But I believe then they sort that out between however many people are on your flat. Regarding the question about bikes, storing bikes on campus, there are bike shelters and places to chain your bikes to around campus. So if you do have one, you can safely store it on there. It would be good if you have your own chain though, so you can lock it onto the bike racks. Another one that says, is there any way to find our flatmates before we move in, as Facebook doesn't fully explain it? Yeah, so in terms of finding your flatmates, it's a case of joining the group chats on Facebook overall. So for example, if you're in Butler Halls, you join the Butler group chat, and then normally they either keep it on Facebook or there might be a WhatsApp one as well. And then what people tend to do is then they just drop in once they find out what flat specifically they're in, and they then drop it in the group chat. So, for example, if you're Butler block B, flat 2B07, for example, you will say that in the group chat, and then someone kind of takes it upon themselves to create a smaller group chat with just your corridor of your flatmates. So then you can get to know them. So it's always worth just checking these group chats, being active, just putting yourself out there and just asking who else is in the same block, on the same floor, and then in the same flat as you. So it's just a case of asking people in the group chats, and then you can contact them privately or make your own specific group chat. In terms of kitchen appliances, the ones that are provided are just the ones that are provided. So in terms of a blender, if you want to make a smoothie, that'd be absolutely fine, and there wouldn't be any issue with that. Just make sure that it's in the kitchen and not in your room. And obviously the same kind of procedure once you finish with it, switch it off, unplug it, clean it, etc., etc.
I just wanted to say, adding that for the appliances, you have to make sure it is PAT tested with the maintenance. So please make sure you do that. Antonio, over to you, sorry.
Cool. So there's a question about the app being confusing. The best way to go about that for those students with disabilities is to contact the disability and dyslexia team, and if you just go on the website and find their email address, if you drop them a line, they'll be able to give you full support in terms of welcome week and enrolling and stuff like that. Just scrolling down. One regarding the PAT tested, as Stephanie just said, yeah, if you can get in contact with the maintenance team so they can ensure that it's PAT tested. Storage space in the kitchen. So in halls on campus that are self-catered, so I was in self-catered, and I'm from what I've seen, all the rest of the halls are the same. In terms of kitchen storage, you get one top cupboard, one bottom cupboard, and then a drawer. It's more of a case of once you're there, you kind of say to your flatmates, I'll take these two cupboards on this row, you take those two, I'll take this drawer, you take that drawer, etc. But yeah, so you normally get two cupboards and a drawer, and that is more than enough room, more than enough room.
Also, just adding as well to the cupboards, if you're on Reed, it's sort of a similar format as a Gower and Hugh kitchen, however, without the hub, so you can also store your items there. But if you're in Founders, for example, you will have a locker with the number of your room, so make sure you bring a padlock for that. Thank you, Antonio.
And in terms of moving in in terms of moving into campus on moving day, this year I believe it's the same as in previous years where you have a allocated time slot. I'm not too sure if it's giving you a beginning and an end time. If it is, then that is to do with parking, because obviously then the next group will come. But from what I remember, I had a few hours to kind of move in all my stuff, bring it up to my room, put everything away, unpack, and then everything that needs to go back home can go back into the car. But if you just check your emails for that in terms of the exact times, I'm sure it will all be on there.
So you have to reserve, so over here, I've just highlighted, you have to reserve your 2-hour arrival slot between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, it is still 2 hours. Okay, so the next one, if we had concerns about moving in our room, etc., should we just email? Yeah, so any concern, please just drop us an email regarding whatever the concern is, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible when they receive the email. The next question, how long are the security team around for if you lock yourself out? For example, if you lock yourself at 9 in the evening. So during the day, the hall's reception, so for example at the hub, they are open kind of normal working hours, normally from 9 till 5. So if you get locked out during the day, you just head down to the hub reception, you just say, I'm locked out, they take your details and they give you a replacement card to get in. If it's after the reception hours of the hall, then you just call the security team. So the security team are 24/7, so you can give them a call, and depending on how busy they are, if there's anything else going on, they'll be able to then come up to you once you give them your details, where you are, your name. They find you on the system and they come up with a key to let you in. But normally it's like, you know, straight away. You don't normally have to wait around or anything like that. And just scrolling through for the next one. Are these sessions available to look back again later? Yeah, I believe all of these sessions are being recorded and then emailed to you later on. So if you just check your emails, you should find all the links to that in there. And the next one may be a silly question, but are the pillows and duvet brand new? There's no such thing as the silly question. Don't worry about that. Yeah, from my experience, they were all brand new. Mine were in completely new wrapping, and I'm pretty sure because of COVID, they are keeping everything fresh. If they're not, then they are completely clean. Stephanie, is it?
Yes, so they're definitely brand new. I've seen the residentials putting them on each bedroom, so guarantee. Thank you.
Yeah. For you guys who had COVID questions, Chris has just said that he's answered them in the chat. So if you'd like to just scroll back up and find your question, you'll find the answer relating to that. Thank you very much. In terms of the Kingswood bus timetables, the best thing to do would be to check online for the updated timetables. I'll be honest, I cannot remember off the top of my head, and I'm not too sure if they've changed this year. But from what I remember, they start early enough to get to lectures and stuff like that, and they run late enough so you don't have to walk back in the dark and things like that.
I've just put that in the chat, but also be mindful as well that we have 2 separate timetables. One is term time and one is summertime. So I believe the arrivals week will still be running in the summertime schedule.
Perfect, thank you very much. Just going through the questions. How do we format our addresses for receiving letters and packages? There's so many parts to each accommodation block. Yeah. So in terms of, imagine you're filling out an address box online. The way I did it, I put Royal Holloway, University of London, Egham, the postcode, and then I specified my hall. So I was living in Butler, so I put Butler, Block B, and then I said floor 2, room, whatever room you are, for example, room 5. So if you just format it kind of row by row on that, just make sure the postcode, the block, the room number, obviously your name, everything is on there. And then in terms of collecting packages and letters, you collect that from the postal rooms at the reception.
And then just to add, I've added the post and parcel information in the link. I'm running out of time, so if you can just answer 3 more questions, Antonio.
Perfect.
And then we'll try our best to answer the rest in the chat. If not, guys, all this information will be provided for you in the Living Halls guide and also the student intranet. Thank you, Antonio.
Perfect. So just quickly a few more. The Halls group chat codes no longer work. In terms of that, I haven't tried to join the group chats this year, obviously because I'm not shooting your year. Your best bet would just be to go back onto Facebook, try and refresh it, and perhaps try and contact someone individually if you can't get in. Or I can see Stephanie has put the Hall Life Common Room as a Facebook page. Perhaps you could just drop a line on there and just say what issue you're having and what accommodation you're in, and someone might be able to add you to a group chat like that. Just quickly, I'm in catered. Is the food clearly labelled for allergies? In terms of allergies and food intolerances and dietary requirements, all of that you can fill out when you contact them. So if you have an allergy such as nuts, etc., everything in terms of buying food, whether that be in the SU shop or things like that, everything is clearly labelled as normal. If you have any doubts or concerns, just speak to a member of staff or whoever is there and just explain that you have an allergy or an intolerance or dietary requirements, and they will ensure they can clarify anything for you.
Just 2 more questions, Antonio.
Cool. Toasters are included. Toasters are included in your kitchen, and in terms of rice cookers, it's exactly the same as other appliances. They need to be PAT tested, but once that's all fine, then it's absolutely fine to use it, and just make sure you use it, switch it off, unplug it, clean it, etc.
Just I think about posters. Someone mentioned posters. Please do use white tack instead, so that you won't leave marks in the walls and no tapes, etc. So just white tack, please.
Perfect. One more. I've just seen, are you allowed to have a guest stay over? In terms of guests staying over, they can't stay in your rooms. However, the hub offer accommodation, which guests can then choose to stay. So they can book a room there. If they don't want to stay on campus, then they can book perhaps an Airbnb or something like that in Egham itself.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope, apologies that we ran out of time, but I hope we've mentioned, covered a few of your questions. There are a few repeats, and we've answered a few of them already ahead. So just please have a look at the chat. So, for example, a few of you have asked COVID testing upon arrival, so we've already answered that. So please just answer that, and also the laptop, the PAT testing. So thank you very much, guys. I have pasted the next sessions for you to join. So that will be the the disability and dyslexia services, if you like to hear them talk about the services they provide. And we look forward to seeing you in Welcome Week, and arrivals actually. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.